Hi, and welcome to day 2 of Mojo Yoga's Fun with Yoga challenge. And today we're going to be doing puppy pose. Puppy pose is a variation of downward dog, which is where it got its lovely, cute little name. It's sort of a mini variation of downward dog. Some might think of it that way. I like to think of it as a really nice gateway into downward dog. It sort of helps you work on some of the more subtle aspects of downward dog, and we're going to work on some of those aspects today because we're going to be needing them really soon in the challenge with poses that are coming up later. So for this pose, the only prop that you may need is a block, perhaps a bolster if your blocks are really hard and you don't want to rest your head on the hard block. You want something a little softer, you could use a bolster, or even a rolled up blanket or a towel will work. Now, to get us into this pose, you're going to start on your hands and your knees. So you'll come into what we call a tabletop position where you have your hands at shoulder width apart, and it's really easy to see shoulder width apart here. When you are in this position, you just have your wrists right underneath your shoulders. Your middle fingers point straight ahead, and just drop your head and look at your knees. Make sure that they're the width of your hips, and your knees are under your sitting bones here rather than sort of walked up underneath your belly button, right? You want to have lots of room for your spine here. So once you have all of that set up, we're going to come into the puppy pose, and to do that, you just walk your hands forward. And you may need to walk your knees back depending on where you've positioned yourself on your mat, but you want to come into a position so that your hands are fully forward, your arms are fully extended, your elbows are up off your mat, and your knees are still under your sitting bones. Now, you may be able to rest your head on the floor here. That can be nice. If your head doesn't come down to the floor, that's where your block's gonna come in handy. You could grab your block or your bolster or your blanket and place it so that it's right underneath your forehead and you can rest your head comfortably. Now, you stay here and breathe freely through your nose. This is puppy pose. Now, while you're here, I want you to think about your hands. That's really what we've come here to work on.